Hello and welcome, and in today's video we're going to be talking about mama's self-care. And this is such a hot issue for all mothers. How do they meet their self-care needs in the demands of being a mother and running a family and all the other things that they're trying to achieve in life? And I guess our take on it is probably a little bit different to a lot of people's, but essentially when you become a mother, you no longer have the clock on, clock off time that you were used to when you either went to school or when you worked. Where you went to work, when you were off work, it was very obvious you were off work. And that no longer works when you become a mother. And if you're trying to carry through that belief and that model, you're going to come completely unraveled.
And a lot of us often do. A lot of mothers equate self-care with having a lot of me time. And then get really stressed out when that is not so easy, and they think, well, I just can't care for myself. It's not possible. Either I can be a mother or I can care for myself, and it's you get kind of into that martyr, like, oh, I can deal with it, and then get burnt out.
So absolutely. So when you're in that mindset that I have to have large slabs of time by myself to recharge, you either come into conflict with your values as a mother, and you go, no, I'm not going to do that, and you get burnt out because it's not sustainable. Or you completely disengage from your children for large slabs of time and just check out. And the model that we're proposing requires that you do neither of those things. And we call it in-the-moment self-care. And in-the-moment self-care is a shift in your belief system on the way that you meet your needs in the day. And if you take on this model, you can actually meet probably about 80% of your self-care needs without disengaging from your children or the day at all.
So we're not saying that taking me time, going out and doing things for yourself sometimes is bad. It's not, and sometimes it's really needed and it's really valuable. But it's not the only way to care for yourself, and you actually need that far less if you care for yourself in the moment as well.
Absolutely. The me time, which we call our sacred recharge time, is a valid portion of your overall self-care, but it's definitely the smaller portion. And it really depends on how much of an introvert and how much solitude you need to recharge as to what sort of exact percentages you're looking at there. So what is in the moment self-care? Essentially, it's bringing yourself into the day. It's saying that I'm valid and my wants and my needs are valid, and how can they be integrated and meshed into all the other needs of the day? Because often as a mother we put our needs last. We let them go right to the end and just hope somehow that they will miraculously have space somewhere. And often they don't. So if we continue to neglect that, then we're in trouble. If we get a little creative and we're willing to look at it, there's often many ways that just in the moment you can fit your needs in alongside your children's needs.
And in alongside the busyness of the day. Like it's a whole new way of looking at, say, how you might be cleaning or how you might be cooking or how you might be reading to your children. It's how can I do this in a way that meets my needs, in a way that's pleasurable for me, in a way that recharges me.
So in those examples, cooking dinner, you could put on your favourite music while you cook dinner. Reading to my children, you could do it so that you're sitting on cushions in the sun and you're getting some sun if that's what you need. The way that you clean might be that you dance while you do that, or that you work in little pieces, or that you just buy flowers that you like and put them on the table.
Burn oils.
Exactly. All these little tiny moments. And you bring them into the day continuously. You show your children who you are, what you love, what you need, and you work it all into the day. Okay? And it makes for a much more full, whole family unit as well when you do this. And it's a much more sustainable way to go about it. So the first step in achieving this is to create a list of things that we call your in-the-moment self-care list. You can come up with a completely unique random one in the moment, but often when you're getting started it helps to have thought out a little list.
So you can draw on them when there is that like busyness of, oh, I'm feeling like my self-care needs are lacking and what can I do in this moment to fill it up? And when you're creating that list, it really helps to engage all your senses, because, well, everybody is, but especially as women, we're sensual, sensuous beings. So generally what re-energizes us and what fills us up are things that enliven our senses. So smells, what are the little things you can do in the moment to satisfy your needs around smell and around sound and less sound, and around taste, all the different things like taste might be. So what are those teas that like I've tried at someone else's house that just like felt so nurturing and nourishing, and maybe I should buy them for myself so I have them in the house so I can have that tea when the day's in full blown busyness.
What is beauty to you? What do you need to be able to see around you? What do you need to do in terms of your movement? Do you need to dance? Do you need to walk? What do you need in terms of your connection to nature? Do you need to sit outside in the sunshine for a minute? So just sit now, jot down 5 or 6 things that you know recharge you, re-energize you, make you feel good. And that are just moment-to-moment things, okay? So not a day out at the spa necessarily. But here's a point that we do want to make. You can take the essence, like if you're going, I need to get out for the day, or I need to go and get a massage, then bring that back to its essence. Because what is it that you need about that massage? Is it that you need nurturing? Is it that you're stiff and sore? Okay, because they're two quite different things, and when you get clear on what it is, you can find an in-the-moment practice that will meet that need, at least the essence of the need, okay?
And you can also even make self-massage one of your in-the-moment practices.
And children actually often like to massage too, so there's always that as well. So we're asking you to be a bit creative and create that list. So that's the first piece. And the second piece is to, if you're new to this, set your alarm on your phone, okay? And set it for 3 or 4 times a day to get started. But what you want to do is throughout the day, you want to stop and you want to ask yourself 2 questions. What am I feeling right now? This is a key because often we ignore what we're feeling, but I want you to check in and say, what am I feeling right now? Find out what are you feeling in the moment. Not what you think you should be feeling, what you're actually feeling.
Or another thing you can ask instead of what am I feeling is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how topped up am I? How energized am I? How met are my self-care needs? And generally if they're anywhere below 7, you need to acknowledge them and do something, especially when they're up there rather than when they're down at 1, because that's when it's really, really, really urgent and it's less likely you're going to listen to it. You need to start putting these things in place.
Definitely do it while you're more topped up. If you've gotten to 1, your needs are going to be screaming at you, and you're probably going to need far more than in the moment intervention if you're right down at 1. So aim for the top level. And so the second question now, once you know what you're feeling, is, and given that, what am I needing or what am I wanting? Okay. Now again, you might need to bring it back to the essence, but what am I needing? And how can you find a way to make that happen in the next short time frame? So in the next couple of moments is ideal, but certainly within the next hour.
And that's where your list can come into handy. Oh, is there anything on my self-care list? You might need to look at it, or it might just come to you because you've thought about it and you've written it down. And then just do that thing. Put that music on, put the oils on, make yourself the tea. Anything like that. Just do that right then and there, because it doesn't take long, and then it can be a part of your day, it can be a part of your relationships with your children, and it shifts the whole experience for you, and it brings you up on that scale of having your needs topped up.
So that's the beginning intro to in the moment self-care, and that's a practice that you can take. Remember that in the moment self-care is a preventative model of self-care. You don't want to get to the point that you're incredibly depleted.
Okay, so until next time, bring in the moment self-care into your moments with your children and enjoy.
Bye. And then the second part of that, you didn't say your question. What are you going to say on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting there now. Okay.
Okay.
No.
I felt myself getting impatient. I'm like, it's okay. Okay.